Tzvi Lebetkin, the Rabbi from another planet. Please like, share, and subscribe, and ring that little bell. Ring the little bell so you're notified when new videos drop. So it's been about 6 months, and right on cue. Was it comic book writer Tom King, who's a very, very successful comic book writer, wants some attention, right? Wants some attention, and demands it, and now I think is lying to get it. So what? Who cares, right? You know, so what? Who cares? Always a good question to ask. Because I think this weird little story, I would say, somewhat insignificant story, does provide us a little a borehole that we can look through. We can look down into, and we can actually see how and why Western civilization is indeed ending. Right? We go from something insignificant to something, I think, very, very significant. All from our little vantage point in fandom. Fine, we're going to be looking at the story. We're going to be maybe, hopefully, having a laugh at it. We're hopefully having a bit of a laugh at him because, you know, he's a sad, laughable figure. But I think the wider story might not be that funny. But anyway, either way, can I ask you to like, share, and subscribe? That would be actually definitely share this one, because I'm going to have information in this that you're probably not going to see anywhere else, which is 100% accurate and real, I believe, right? I believe, but and somewhat incredible. So like, share, subscribe, comment. Let me know what you think. Certainly let me know what you think on this, because again, we go from insignificant to very, very significant. Like, share, subscribe, comment. I've got a billion comments to reply to today, and go check out my Indiegogo, which I hopefully will only be saying for another few more days. Depends how much work I get done on it today. Really, that's really the bottom line. How much work I get done on it today. We're there. I think we're in the. I've been saying we're in the final straight for months. No, what we must be, right? We might be like. I think I'm running out of things I have to do to get this thing to print. I don't want to get to print because I got a whole new thing that I'm looking to. Anyway, this thing got 2 freaking awesome graphic novels. We got biblical Bible stories, 80 of the Creator's Rationalist. Right? Oh, this is a comic book video. You might like comics. Go check out my comic. Well, okay, as this is a comic book video, I'll just mention the reason that I'm rushing to fulfill this. Well, other than I want to give people the thing they paid for. I know, a bit of a crazy notion. Other than that, I want to open a Substack account, and it'll be free, and I want to just put out good comics on it. I might well do a paid version of it. I mean, that's really the goal, but I got to see how it goes. But I'm really psyched about the Substack thing, right? So that's why I can't do anything until I send this thing to frickin' fulfillment, right? Until people get it in their hands, I can't launch anything new. That's just the way it is, baby. So fine, we got this thing, Biblical Bible Stories, Ace of Creative Rationals Wogues, 220 pages long. I wrote and drew it. Did a pretty good job, if I may say so. Very biblically accurate, not that preachy. Not that preachy. When I say not preachy, not preachy at all. At least I think so. I'm somewhat biased. I wrote it, and so I'm kind of inside it, but I don't think it's preachy. Nobody's ever said to me, oh, see, that's awfully preachy. So I don't think it's preachy. And then we've got this, The Imperium, a love letter to telefancy 1960s. James Bond, Emma Pill, The Black Slap from 2001, Doctor Who, a monkey in a spacesuit, a bit of Prisoner, a bit of Thunderbirds, all that. It's 105 pages long. I wrote this artwork by Dominic Rancho. Got a very cool backup strip called The Ice Warriors that Savannah Carcelli did the artwork on. We're adding some pages in. That's basically what I'm working on today. If I can get those pages added in today, we're actually ahead of schedule. If I get them all done today, I'm scheduled to have it finished by tomorrow. And then I got to get some info from the printer to, the few final specs. But I reckon we are, barring disaster, who knows? In line to get this out. You buy both. You get a whole bunch of cool extras. You get this thing, good poster, lovely leader, and Raka Welsh from A Million Years BC. With the Time Machine and K9. Why not, baby? And you get the For the Male Gaze cards. So this is going to continue into my next campaign. Because I really like them. I can't wait to get them. I really can't wait to get them. Are you excited too, Perry? Yes, I am. Well, I know you're excited, Perry. It's quite understandable. So I think these are only going to be available in this campaign. I think that's the plan right now. Fine. Let's look at this story. Here. Fine. So Tom King is a extremely successful comic book writer. He's also a former CIA operative, and he's used that a lot to get his position as an extremely successful comic book writer, because you think people in the CIA are pretty darn cool. That's just how it feels. Like CIA knows what's going on and they feel like they're cool, right? It just feels like they're cool. Apparently they're just a big bunch of liars, right? That's how, as it turned out. I'm getting this from who is it? Your boy Zach. I love your boy Zach channel. He was in Afghanistan. He was in the military, and he said, yeah, we used to think the CIA super cool. CIA people turn up, they'll be like, oh, they know the secrets of what's really going. They don't. They just lie. They just lie their asses off, right? They just lie their asses off, and nobody questions it. If you want real intel, you got to talk to people on the ground. They know nothing, and so I think that's what we're seeing over here. A few months ago, by the way, the last time he wanted attention, he attacked Jay Lee, a fantastic comic book artist. Jay Lee, I think, did what was it? The Watchmen prequels, Alan Moore's Watchmen prequels. He did the art in the Ozymandias series. It wasn't a very good series, but man, was that artwork beautiful. His artwork is just absolutely delightful. So Tom King came out and attacked him because he did a cover for this comic book called Cyber Frog. Cyber Frog is by a guy called Ethan Van Sciver, who was blackballed from the industry and basically started a thing called Comicsgate. He was one of the main people who started the Comicsgate movement, which is basically an alternative. It was an alternative comic book, movement from the mainstream, because the mainstream was a monoculture and a kind of fanatical one. If you didn't hate Trump, you were blackballed out of it. It's just the way it was. He had this thing. He just attacked him. And then all the Twitter psychos who want to please Tom King because they're all psychos, they all went after Jay Lee as well. So then Tom King came back and said, and lied his ass off, like the CIA always does. Lied his freaking ass off and said, oh no, I talked to Jay, we're all cool. Then Jay Lee smoked him more than I've ever seen anyone smoke anyone ever. Oh, he said, we are not all good. He told the story about how his day burying his beloved pet dog, and I kind of tear up when I think about it because I buried a dog about a year ago, and dog was a pain in the ass. Don't get me wrong, that dog was a pain. Snuggles dog was a pain. I got a picture of it, but that dog was a pain in the ass. His legs had gone by the end. He was incontinent, but when he was put down, it was a hard moment. It's not easy. I stayed with him. And he cried. It was very much, and I was like, no, we're not getting another dog. My wife basically insisted we get another dog by 6 months later. It was about 6 months later. I was like, no. I would die for this dog now. I mean, like this. Do I have a picture of her anywhere? No, I don't have a picture of her. This dog, most gorgeous thing in the world. We got her as a puppy. She was like 7 weeks old. She was teeny tiny. We had no idea what type of dog she was going to grow into. And I just adore this dog. So he told the story about how his beloved pet dog, who he then... I completely relate to Jay Lee on this one. They just spent thousands of dollars on desperate surgery to save him, and he couldn't. And then it was the day that the dog was being put down because he was in too much pain, and it was a very, very heavy. That was the day that Tom King tried to cancel him, and then Jay Lee smoked him and said, "We are not all good, you piece of shit," basically. So yeah, Tom King lies a lot. So let's see what that little scamp's up to right now. So he starts off with saying, "Love seeing people at cons. Oh, I love it so much. But yesterday we had a Rorschach cosplayer." So Rorschach is a character invented by Alan Moore in Watchmen. A very, very cool character. Tom King's been doing a version of that character in this garbage comic that bears little to no relation to the character. I have no idea what's going on. But so we had a Rorschach cosplayer who took his mask off at our table. Rorschach has a full face mask at our table. You think I swear a lot in comics? You should see me in person. After an impolite talking to, Rorschach was escorted from the con. Wear your mask! We're not effing around. And let me tell you, I know what's going on with all this mask stuff, all the matter. I saw video from Australia today that cold my toes. They're like thousands of people protesting against lockdown. Is it a public health thing? I don't know. I don't know. I think people are basically coming to the realization that it's never going away. The pandemic is never going away. You know, you could lock down, you could have mask mandates as much as you like. It doesn't make any difference. I mean, I'm looking at Texas statistics compared to Hawaii. Hawaii is very, very, very lockdown centric, very mask mandated, and Texas not at all. Exactly the same data, like identical data. I don't know what to tell you, right? So, but I do know that there is a authority. You know, the authorities would like to keep power, right? Never a good idea to give people in authority more power. Never a good idea, because they don't like giving up. And that might be what we're seeing now. I don't know, right? I don't know. So anyway, so he thinks he looks like a hero, right? Tom King thinks he looks like a stunning and brave hero. And the first hour or so after his post, it was a bunch of other Twitter psychos like consoling him, saying, "Oh, Tom, you're so brave. You're so brave. We're sorry you had to live with that. I'm so happy you're an FBOCAI man who's so brave and strong." So then things started to unravel when Peter Simeti. Peter Simeti is wonderful. Peter Simeti runs Alterna Comics. He has this open mic night. Just a genuinely really nice guy. Like really insanely cool and nice guy. Very honest, tells things as they are. And he's doing very well with his Alterna Comics. And good for him. He deserves it, right? So then he chimes in. Let's see. You thought this person was more than likely a healthy individual, might have been sick with something serious. So, in your compassionate grace, you decided it was best to humiliate them and tell the story for Twitter likes. How kind. Basically, that's what happened. Like he seems like he destroyed some. If what he's saying it actually happened, which is what we're going to be getting to in a second. It seems like he just wanted to destroy this guy to get applause, which is what Tom King did, right? What Tom King does is what he did with Jay Lee. Look what he does. It's what the CIA does, right? CIA, they are liars. They lie a lot. So somebody comes along and says, humiliate who? He hasn't named anyone. Well, the person there might feel a bit humiliated, and then he got screamed at and then thrown out the convention, right? If the story is true, and here's the rub. I don't think the story is true, right? I think it might be a little bit true. It might be like somebody like adjusted their mask or coughed or something, and he mumbled something, right? I don't think he stood up and vanquished this this anti-vaxxer liar, which is the story he's essentially going with, right? I don't think that's what went down. It'll be the person, the fan that he had removed from the show, instead of politely reminding him about his mask. Could you put your mask back on, please? We need it. No, because he wants to make a scene, but I don't think he wants to make a scene in real life because I think he's a lying pussy, right? I think he's a lying pussy. But you're right. Most likely, no one was humiliated because Tom probably made the whole story up for Twitter likes. Most probably he did. And here's the weird thing. We're seeing this now in the real world. We're seeing what happens in the real world when you make up story for Twitter likes. So let me move over to this. Report. FBI finds little... And you're never going to see this on any news show. FBI finds little evidence that January 6th riot at the Capitol was coordinated. So, in other words, the insurrection, the worst insurrection that has ever happened in American history, didn't actually happen. It was a lie. It was all a lie. And here's what's going on throughout the world right now. Authority is lying, and they're lying a lot. They say this election was the most secure election in history, and it's unquestionable. Well, they told that to people over and over again, but they didn't demonstrate that, did they? They didn't. They had people say, we know it's fine. We're not going to check it. We're not going to check it at all. No checking. No way. Because we don't want a house burnt down by BLM or Antifa. Not check. But we're telling you, we don't trust you. And the people here didn't trust them. And they didn't trust them. They didn't. And as we saw, every level of authority failed them. every check and balance check out completely until they got to the Capitol and there was a riot when they weren't listened to, right? There was a, and then they made a new narrative that this wasn't a riot, this was an insurrection, right? And so we see, you know, authoritative lies over and over and over again throughout the world right now. Authoritative lies until reality meets that lie. And now we're yeah, this week we saw Afghanistan. Worst images I think we've seen. I think this is the worst America's been beaten since the fall of Saigon, right? Maybe even worse than that, because the fall of Saigon took a little bit longer. It is it's something that you really can't get over. And how did that happen? How did that happen? It's because people kept believing the lies. Lies that we all knew were lies. Like, you know, we all know that a lot of things aren't true. We all know that for most people, gender is a binary choice. For most people. Some people want to say it's a spectrum. It's an infinite spectrum. But for most people, it's a binary. But we got to believe that for everybody, it's an infinite spectrum. That's a lie. And we have agreed on that lie. We agreed on the lie to lie that the election was the most secure ever. We agreed on the lie that there was an insurrection on January 6th. Reality doesn't feel that way. Reality doesn't really care about your feelings. And so we're seeing these lies again. The lies of people in authority. Lies are exactly the same way that the FBI and also CIA does. Even though this is an FBI report, FBI finds little evidence that the riot at the Capitol was coordinated. I find little evidence, and how many people were actually involved in that? Yeah, lies upon lies upon lies upon lies upon lies, until the lies don't match up with reality. And now you got, inflation through the roof, like just record-breaking inflation. Gas prices, I think, are double what they were a year ago. Labor shortage, food shortages, fuel shortages, Afghanistan, crisis beyond crisis at the southern border. Why? Because we all agreed to turn a blind eye to lies. I don't know how much longer it's going to go on for, but you know, for people like Tom King, turning a blind eye to lies is normal. So he can do things like this. So he can make these. Make up these ridiculous stories for something as stupid as Twitter likes, which is again what they do. I just don't think it's going to work out well. I think this is a little. This gives us a little borehole into reality from fandom. And it's a scary sight, right? It is a scary, scary sight. My name is Tzvi Lebetkin, waiting for the apocalypse. Waiting for the apocalypse. Have yourselves a fantastic day.